So yeah, as the title says, my job is basically at risk. Essentially, I'm at risk of being made redundant, which I think is going to happen potentially if they don't find a role for me. So this is the first time I'm experiencing redundancy specifically. I've experienced being fired before in probation, so that was in 2015 and in 2019. In 2019, I made a video about it on my old channel about how I want to be positive. I want to start doing things, and this is life. Life moved me on to a new opportunity. Um, yeah, this is now the third time in the space of 10 years. So I'm grateful that I didn't experience a layoff during COVID. At least I managed to work throughout that period. But yeah, this is gonna be interesting. I've learned a lot from the last time this happened when I lost my job in 2019. One of the things I learned was the importance of not grinding and not trying to hustle to get a job. Because when I started relaxing and enjoying life at the same time as looking for a job, that's when I started getting interviews. So I'm hoping that I've learned a lesson from the universe and I want to apply that this time. The only pressure is going to be how long can I stay where I am as I look for a job, new full-time employment. There's options. Obviously, like there's part-time, there's even full-time employment in careers which are not necessarily aligned to what I am. Also, I can go on LinkedIn and just say I'm open to work. But yeah, it is. I'll be honest, it is a bit embarrassing being in the situation because yeah, I've been through a lot of tough things at work throughout the last year. In a very toxic environment, and I thought that, you know, to do with justice, I thought, okay, maybe as compensation for what you've been through, you're not going to get laid off because people who are seen in my workplace who were laid off tended to have so-called easier time in the workplace. They weren't necessarily being treated with the same toxicity. So I thought, okay, maybe I'm lucky because of that. And one of the things that was keeping me on my streak as well, my retention streak, is the fear of being let go. I didn't want to have that bad luck come onto me, that because I relapsed or released too much, then I'm going to be let go. So it kept me on my toes. But yeah, here I am. There is two ways to look at this. There's one way to look at it in terms of the fear, the negativity. What jobs am I going to go through? What kind of pain am I going to go through on my way to the next step? Because in 2019, it was 3 months before I got a new job. And I got a new job. It was very stressful. I stayed there from 2019 until 2021. So 2 years. But after 2 years, I got this job, which is for me the best paid job I ever had. And when I started at that job, it was pretty much the best job I'd had. You know, the responsibility, the respect, the seniority. Things have changed over the last. I've been here for 4 years, so things have changed, and I've dropped in seniority. Pay is being the same. In fact, I've been paid more, but things have gotten toxic. So I don't know. The best thing in life is to think positively and think, okay, this is a transition. Just like the video I made yesterday about the things breaking down in my house. Maybe this is just a sign that I'm on to the next thing. And as long as I have fun, don't relapse, and take rational decisions, and accept what comes my way, even though I may not like any pain that may come my way, whether it's stressful work or probation, which is something I absolutely hate. I just had to accept it as part of the story. This is like a story, you know. There's ups and there's downs. Um, so yeah, I'm just hoping that once I've been through this pain, whatever, once this phase is over, if I don't give up, that the joy that's going to come at the end of it is going to supersede even this job. You know, the pay, the freedom, seniority, things are going to be even better. And I'm going to be like looking back, and I'll be grateful. And that's something I remember looking back at all the bad things that had happened to me, bad things. And I thought about, damn, if those things hadn't happened, I wouldn't have done this. It's like when I look back, the job that let me go in 2019, probation. If that job hadn't let me go at that time, I wouldn't have the opportunity to get the job in Cambridge, which is for me the best place I've ever lived in. And because I live in Cambridge, I had the opportunity to move to this job. Or the first time I was let go from a job in 2015, if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to make this big change I made in my life, which was very important, which opened doors for me. And I'm not going to say it out loud, it's private to me, but it was so important to me, and it let go of a lot of pain in my life. And 10 years later, I'm grateful that I made that change permanently. So yeah, a lot of rambling, but yeah, I think it's just important to just share it, because this is a journey. This is a movie. Might as well just treat it like that. Go through it. Yeah, see what happens. Anyway, with that said, take care. Peace.